one of my mains, Bao. Bao is a very, very fun character. It can be really, really annoying, probably the most annoying character in the game, bar none. And I think like most players will agree with me. It's not only annoying because of what he does, but because of some problems that he has in the game with the design of his hitboxes and hurtboxes mostly. Hitboxes are fine, most likely. But hurtboxes are what causes problems with Bao. Because when Bao crouches, as being so small, he almost disappears. And tall characters that have fart Cs that hit like at this level, pretty much, like this height, will completely whiff on crouching Bao, right? So a lot of people get annoyed because they have to change the way they play against Bao, which is understandable, but it's also a skill in fighting game, right? So what does Bao do? Well, do you remember that we said that they're all zoners? Well, Bao is probably the best zoner out of the three because he has so many fireballs. So he has a normal fireball, like Athena's A fireball, but he can also do it in the air. So he has all these heights and all these arcs. If you find ways, as you can see, so he has normal, 20%, 60% range or whatever. Like, you know, he has basically 4 arcs because normal, I'll try and do it. Yeah, you can do it off backdash cancel. You can do it Tiger Knee. I think you can make it a little bit. Yeah, so this is lower. 4, 5. So he has like 5 different fireballs just with a fireball, right? So he can cover pretty much all the heights of the game. If he cancels the fireball in the air, backdash cancels, super jump cancel, and so on. So he can feel the whole verticality of the game with fireball. And that's just one out of his fireballs. He has so many. So do you need a fireball that anti-airs without you leaving the floor? He has one. So this goes in front of him and travels all the way up. So even if somebody super jump and is up there, you can anti-air them with this fireball. Or you can be anti-aired by that fireball if you're playing against Bao. Do you need a 45 degrees angle that goes downward? Bao has one, and he has it both on the ground and in the air. So, as you can see, cuts the screen diagonally. So it hits here, and then it goes like that. 1 second. Right? Pretty much. But it can also do that in the air. So what happens is that suddenly this angle that we had initially, right, more or less, can change. Because, as you can see, the way that the fireball impacts on the ground changes its angle. So in the air, it would always be down and then straight up. And this means that whatever jump you do, you can change this angle, right? So it makes it go further and further. So it can be, if you super jump back and let it go, oh sorry, at the top of the jump, as you can see, the angle is not this anymore. It's not this short, but it can actually go like that and go up. So if you start putting all these ranges together, you can see that Bao starts to be really controlling of that range and really annoying. Now, these are only the A fireballs, right? So once again, normal in the air, like horizontal in the air, vertical, diagonal in the air, right? But this is already A and B fireballs. But you also have C fireballs, where E becomes the fireball, right? So pretty much like a Blanca ball. If you do it on the ground, you're gonna have recovery, right? So if you're reading something and you wanna punish it, sure. But if you do it off the air, actually his momentum is altered, right? And it doesn't have recovery at all. So this is mostly unpunishable. It's unpunishable like at that specific range, at that specific height, by all the cast, unless they roll back and avoid it. So they make it whiff and they follow the recovery, right? But this fireball, despite him being inside it, functions exactly like this fireball. So what happens is that this is the normal version and it has a recovery, but it can do it at any height, right? So as you can see, it can cover like all these ranges to maybe, you know, somebody's super jumping at you, but it's not gonna land right in front of you, right? And you're maybe not ready to use the B fireball because it has a bit of startup, right? And it has an awkward angle. Become the fireball. Meet them there. Meet them in the air. If they're jumping here, meet them here. You know what I mean? And you're still gonna have the priority there to deal with it. Now, this is extremely good because if you do it low enough, you're not gonna be able to be punished. And you're not gonna have recovery, so they just kind of have to take it. A bit like a Blanca ball that it cannot be punished in the games where it cannot be punished. Also, remember that we had this fireball. It can become this fireball too, except this has 2 hits. So here, normal, 2 hits, right? And it does damage. And also, it has great priority because it has a very good hitbox. So if you're expecting a jump, you can also use this, which is vertical, and yeah, you can just generally anti-air with it. This fireball sucks, right? This is basically the B fireball, but with him inside it. You don't want to use this, or your opponent most likely will not use it. The only thing that I can see a use for is if for whatever reason you get a hard knockdown at range, and you have all the time to do this and cross them up on the other side. But it's very risky. It takes a lot of time. Most likely you'll never be in that position, right? And also you have a reflector, just like Athena. The B version is a static reflector, which reflects pretty much everything aside some very specific projectiles like Kula's Tatsu Fireball for whatever reason. Doesn't get reflected if I remember right. Or the reflected fireball someone else, like Kula, when she does the Quadricycle back A, will not be reflected. Also, the D version has him inside, and the way it works is that he moves forward with it, but also the reflector moves forward with it. So if somebody throws a fireball at you from full screen and you do this, you anticipate the fireball here, say, you make it return, so the fireball comes forward, you recover pretty much here, and you are able to get the frame advantage there. So that's how you use that. Now, this is not it only, you know? Yes, normals, of course. So a lot of his stuff is very, very, very short ranged, right? As you can see, I'm standing like really, really close. Let me find the max range for that. This is alright, actually. But yeah. So he struggles with range because he has so many fireballs. He's a pure fireball zoner, right? But he has pretty decent normal. Like jump CD is incredible because him being so small and the hitbox being so good, right? Makes it so it's really, really hard to kind of get here and punish him for it. So unless they're standing on top of you and you can anti-air here, most likely you're not anti-air in that move. His crouch C is phenomenal because it makes an already small hurt box, right, which is usually here, even smaller. So against Bao, you're expecting a lot of your buttons to straight up whiff, and you need to adapt. You need to, for example, if against other characters, you can do this, right? Jump D, for example, right? I mean, you can still hit him with the jump D, but most likely you want to use a button that goes really low. As you can see, like, see the hitbox, see the difference? Where's the pen? Here, right? to... I'm gonna try and use the same marker. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Right? It's lower. So you have to think like that with Bao. And that will apply also to your grounded normals. This is incredible. This is down forward B for Bao, which has an incredible amount of block stun and hit stun. So makes confirms really easy and makes advantage stupidly easy to land. So the moment you have a knockdown for whatever reason, you have some of the best ways to just get frame advantage and get a confirm. Right? Now, also, he has some of the best, easiest conversions into max mode loops. So you have to be really, really scared when he actually managed to touch you, because it does a lot of damage. So what can you expect against Bao? Now, Bao being a small character, his players will know this and will exploit this. So not only you're gonna be going through a barrage of these fireballs, but since it's so small to hit, players will do stuff like this to like low profile your normals, or they will do stuff like to get out of the corner if you're not ready for it. He also has this move, which can go into an instant anti-air, an instant overhead into hard knockdown, right? And it's really hard to block because it's a double high and it's really hard to punish as well if it's cancelled low enough. So sometimes the Bao might do this, just fall behind you and hit you with a cross-up. It's a character that is quite tough to fight, but it's a lot of its potential is on frustrating the opponent. So try not to get frustrated against Bao. Be patient, use the rolls a lot, because his reach is not like, Athena or Kenzo, where if you do a roll, they can punish you. They can with stuff like this, but see how slow it is compared to Kenzo, which is like already advancing and is already here. It doesn't have reversals aside from metered ones. So if you're fighting about without any meter, feel free to pressure him, because it doesn't have ways to get out at all. But if it does have meter, this is incredibly big and it's incredibly threatening. It will anti-air hops, it will anti-air hyper hops, it will anti-air normal jumps, it will anti-air super jumps, it will anti-air cross-ups, it will catch meaties if you're not careful. Careful how you approach them on when he has meter. Of course, you can make a whiff, since it has a lot of recovery, you can punish them. Or they will wake up with this, which is also like a way to anti-air, butt jumps on wake up and so on. This is harder to punish, because on hit and on block, it pushes him backwards. So I'm going to try and show you old guard. Yeah? So you're blocking and is already pushed backwards. So you need to roll that on reaction forward when you see it. Also, he has one of the scariest max 2 in the game. Let me remove it from all guard. Oops. This is a gravity suction ball thing, right? Even if I do it max screen, it will actually bring them in slowly, but it will, right? So what happens is, if you get a hard knockdown against Bao and he has a lot of them, they're gonna start doing shit like this and so on. So this is only available when he has 30%, but it's still super scary. So generally against Bao, you can expect a barrage of fireballs, them running back and forth a lot to kind of control range. Lots of ways to try and get out of the corner. And easy anti-airs with meter. Really easy anti-airs. Because look at the size. Even like level 2 is even better, because it's super fast and it's bigger. Yeah, as you can see, it's really hard to catch the frame of it traveling. But look, it's freaking huge. So generally be careful. Learn the moves of your character that will whiff on Bao, because there's going to be a lot of them. Change it accordingly. Use rolls for like normal fireballs, or like if he does this, you can roll when it's almost close to you and punish him here and so on. So very, very good zoner, fireball zoner. Very hard to hit if you don't know what you're doing. Very good keep away. Incredible anti-airs with meter. Be careful against them.